What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Hbar Daily Show, episode 217. I hope you guys are all doing well here today. Friendly reminder, if this is your first time here, we do host shows here Monday through Friday at 5 p.m. EST, the place to be in Web3. You guys know how it goes. Hope everyone's doing well here today on this amazing Friday after the 4th of July here in the US. I don't know if other countries do fireworks at all, but in the US, I was out last night for a bit watching some fireworks. It was very beautiful. We usually try to do that every 4th of July. And yeah, I mean, we stayed out late and enjoyed our time. I hope everyone had a great time on the 4th of July as well. And if you don't celebrate it, if you're in another country, what have you, that's okay too. But yeah, it was a good time last night. I hope everyone had a good Thursday as well. Today, of course, the markets are still in turmoil. It's still a bloodbath. Still doesn't look too pretty. Currently today, for today's show, this will be a one-off type of thing. Most of the time we will have the presentation going live. So this will be kind of like going back to the OG days of the show. There will be no presentation. So if you're on the broadcast, I appreciate all of you guys tuning in today, but I won't be screen sharing. So all you're going to see is my PFP currently talking with you all. If you want to request to come up, let me find the link really quick. I'm pretty sure I have it as a banner. If not, I will add it really quick. I would appreciate it for those of you guys that want to come up and speak. Feel free to jump up. So let me just say join call via this link. And then let me copy and paste it for you guys. I don't know if it's always the same link or if it changes every episode. So if you guys know, do let me know. All right, I just created it. Go ahead, and maybe that's a little bit distracting if it's moving. So I might have to copy and paste it, but we'll get the show started. I'll copy and paste it. If you're on the broadcast, you can see the show there. Postmaster, I hope you're doing well, brother. I saw you come up as a speaker. If anyone else on the Spaces side of things would like to come up as a speaker, feel free to hit that button on the bottom left to request to come up. We'll run the show for about an hour per usual. So if you have any alpha, any news, any information, I didn't see anything too crazy, going on through the ecosystem today. So if you guys have anything you want to share, anything we should be covering today, feel free to come up. I do have some posts we'll talk about. And again, if you're on the broadcast, we won't be live streaming the presentation today, just because I don't have my computer with me today. But of course, moving forward, we will continue to have it. And again, there's not a ton to present today, but I appreciate everyone tuning in here today. Don't forget to like and retweet. Best way to support our show here today, and it's free as well. Postmaster, how you doing, brother?
Guys are doing well today, and I'm glad to be here. It's a little bit of a dormant day, but the Hbar Bowl did just come out with a really nice video. So if you guys want to check out the new weekly Hbar Bowl video, I posted it up in the Jumbotron. But other than that, yeah, I'm having a really good night. I'm just about to jump in the shower, so I am going to jump out in about 15 minutes because I have to go do some sparring tonight. I'm diving deep into the world of fighting again. So Friday nights are going to be the nights that I do some beating the crap out of people.
Awesome, brother. You love to hear it. Also, you guys that see my PFP, I tried updating it to the one on the broadcast. I don't know what happened, why it's like blank on Twitter. So I don't know. I tried updating it to the new pixel art piece, but so if any of you guys are wondering what's going on with my current PFP, that's what's going on. Postmaster, I know you've been grinding and you're preparing for your upcoming fight. So yeah, brother, get to it. And yeah, I did want to mention the Hbar Bull video. I haven't watched it. It looks like Zepsi is back as well. So super excited to watch that video. Look into Seal Coin as well. Have you watched it yet, brother?
Yeah, I've watched a bit of it. I didn't watch it all the way because I was watching it and then I came into the space. So yeah, he only dropped it about 2 hours ago, and it's like an hour and 25 minutes long. So
Gotcha. Yeah, and
I always watch it on 1.15 speed now, and I'm like used to hearing his voice that way. So
really,
so now when I hear him in the spaces, I'm like, oh, he speaks so slow.
Yeah, Yeah, I wonder. I don't know if you could do that for the broadcast. So shout out to again everyone listening to the recording. This show on the Spaces side of things on X, it was supposed to be recorded. We've been recording all of them, so no idea why this one's not recorded. I'm pretty sure I hit record on all of them. Same thing with the broadcast though, since those are live streamed, they are being saved. So shout out to you guys on X and then of course on YouTube as well. We do have a YouTube channel. Just type in Hbar Daily Show and go hit subscribe as well if you want to follow along on our journey. And we are live streaming there as an additional platform as well. I haven't watched Hbar Bull videos yet. Hbar Bull's video just yet today. But yeah, I wonder how many people listen to our voices when we create this content at multiple times speed. How familiar they are with our face, with our voices at this speed. That's kind of funny to think about. I never really think about that. But yeah, Postmaster, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I know you'll continue sparring. Keep us posted. Also, you tagged me in a space earlier. I was going to reach out to you asking what's up. What was that tag all about?
So yeah, we were having a really good discussion about like the difference between Hedera and Solana at the time. So I was like bringing in a couple guys, come chill some stuff.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I wasn't able to jump in on that space, but yeah.
Safe's always been there. Donald's always a part of that space. A whole bunch of guys. We're building a little strong community over there. So I wanted you to check it out and maybe just take some notes. You don't have to buy nothing or join the meme community, but I just want you to come check it out and check out the energy and yeah, it's fun.
Awesome, brother. Well, appreciate you tagging me, and yeah, anytime I am free, I'll definitely be jumping on other spaces when I'm able to, brother. But again, I know a lot of people are out in a way for 4th of July. I know it's Friday as well. A lot of people are jumping out, doing their thing. It's going into the weekend, so yeah, super bullish on all of you guys still showing up on Friday, even after the holidays as well. Shout out to all of you, and again, shout out to everyone listening to the recording after the fact as well. Was there anything specific, Postmaster, that you wanted to share before we jump on some posts here in the Jumbotron?
Yeah, we just really focused on the karate event coming up in Nashville. So July 25th, we have IFC, we got Pit Submission Series fights coming out, and it's going to be a heavyweight title. Sam Alvey's coming back. He's putting his heavyweight title on the line, so it's going to be an absolute banger, guys. There's going to be a ton of Hbar people out there. I've already got a whole bunch of people messaging me. It's the Bitcoin conference, another in real life conference. So if you guys are on the fence about something, this is going to be a huge event. We're going to be throwing huge parties down there. You're not going to want to miss this one, man. This is going to be a huge one. So yeah, you guys should come out. There's some stats that we shared above on Karate Combat. These stats are showing that Karate Combat is pretty well number 2 as far as popularity is concerned. For all combat sports. So number 2 only succeeded by UFC right now. So that's huge news for Hedera. That means that there's more eyes seeing that Hedera logo. And honestly, the way that the fights start, like it's the first thing that you see, when they're fighting, when they're getting announced, they're doing a really good job displaying our logo. I think we just need to do a really good job now of reeling in the fish and helping Hedera out. The retail's got to show up there, show up with your Hedera gear on, get hyped, talk to people in the crowd about Hbar and your Hbar journey. In real life is where you're going to onboard probably the most people. If you have projects, that's the place to shill it. It's there's something called the dog and pony show in every business. When you get to a certain point and you want to onboard new business, you got to find things like hockey games and golf and different things to entertain these relationships that you're having with people. And Karate Combat, what a way to do it, to showcase what Hedera is actually capable of doing while side pitching your own thing. So you guys should make it a habit of showing up to these events that are in your area. And yeah, that's my pitch. That's my pitch deck for the day.
Just trying to update the banner here on the broadcast. Yeah, Postmaster, I completely agree. And you've you're putting in the work. You're going there IRL, you're making the connections, you're establishing yourself, and like that's what we need to see. As a community, there's only so much that each individual can do, and you're doing it right. So massive shout out to you. I'm excited to see you in the pit. I'm excited to see you continuing on in your journey. Again, feel free to share any posts of your journey up in the jumbotron as well. So anyone that is tuning in live here can follow along. And again, if you are on the broadcast today, I'm not at my computer currently, so I cannot do the screen share, unfortunately. But moving forward, we will continue to have that as the standard for what we are sharing here in our shows here today. And then, of course, you guys, friendly reminder, if you have not liked and retweeted our stream, our live stream, the broadcast, and or the show, feel free to hit that button on the bottom right. And then if you're streaming on X, feel free again to jump down, like, and retweet. It really goes a long way. I see a bunch of you guys in here on both sides of the show. Again, massive shout out to all of you. And of course, shout out to everyone listening to the recording as well. Feel free to come up as well if you want to jump up in on the conversation today. See a bunch of you guys here in the show. Also, if you find any of the show valuable here today, again, feel free to show us some love and support. Postmaster, I appreciate you coming up here today. If there's anything else you want to share, feel free. If not, I am going to jump on some posts in the Jumbotron.
Yeah, the last thing, I guess, is if you guys want to get on my banner, it's probably going to be produced shortly after the Nashville event. If you want to be a title sponsor, come hit me up and we'll get your logo on the fight banner, and I'll give you lots of shout outs each week. And we'll give a shout out right now to Gilmore Estates for being our first title sponsor. Real G's own G coin. Let's go, baby.
Let's go, brother. Yeah, massive shout out to Gilmore Estates. I don't see them in the audience. If they are here, again, massive shout out to you guys. Go check out what they are doing here in the ecosystem. Well, Postmaster, appreciate you, brother. Hope you have a great training session today.
Appreciate you. Appreciate everybody. Thank y'all. Talk soon.
Awesome, brother. Have a great day. All right, you guys. Again, feel free to come up if you want to join the conversation. If you are on the broadcast and if you are on the space, let me actually just repin it to the top really quick. 1 second. If you guys are on the spaces, I just updated the banner on the spaces side on the broadcast for the spaces. You guys can see the StreamYard link, and then it starts with RHU8. Go ahead and type that in if you want to join in live on the broadcast. We can bring some people up over here as well. And don't be shy as well. I know we don't bring a ton of people up to speak on the broadcast just yet, but we do want to encourage more people to jump on the call live over there as well. So again, I know a lot of you guys are accustomed to the spaces, but we are doing what we can to bring more people on to the broadcast side of things as well. We'll have more guest speakers and all that kind of stuff, but right now, I know the ecosystem's pretty dry, pretty slow across the board. I know there's certain events and launches happening, and we try to cover them as much as possible. But yeah, it's like a once a week thing, it feels like at this point. So still super slow, not too much to be covering. And like I said, we will be covering it still nonetheless. So I did share. You guys are on the spaces. You will be able to see all of the alpha shared up in the Jumbotron. And again, feel free to come up and speak and share any additional alpha that we might have missed. So I'm just going to go in order here. Actually, I'm going to jump to the Hbar Foundation post. So again, first sentiment feed, right? Hbar continues to lead in developer activity across Web3. So that's pretty much the post I believe that Hbar had shared. I don't know, like a week ago. It was some point last week, and we covered it already on our show. But if this is where I would say Chainlink climbs as Hbar's top developer activity leaderboard, right? I mean, if this is the facts, right, of what Sentiment's reporting, like this is once again what I've been talking about. Like Hbar has to be in the conversation to be able to just be worthwhile, right, in this this bull run. Sorry, give me 1 second. Okay, sorry, I have to take something. In the top 10, right? I mean, that's just kind of what we're seeing here in the space. And then to have this many developers that are genuine, they're passionate, right? They believe in the technology, they understand what's going on. That's what's important, right? To be in that conversation. And so again, anything that's happening, that's putting us in that conversation is going to be something that us as a community, we have to be able to run with, Speaking of being in the conversation, Karate Combat, that's the second post up in the Jumbotron, right? You can see with the small faction, this is by Only LARPing, right? Founder of Karate Combat. Shout out to Only LARPing as well. He says Karate Combat has, in my opinion, pulled ahead of the PFL and Belator in awareness, right? Check the stats out below or any socials for comparison. Up Only Gaming, President Asim, President Awesome, right? And our incredible fighters, format and team are crushing it. One FC, you're next. So, again, I mean, we're starting to see more and more use cases go live on Hedera. We're starting to see more traction, more conversations being had around what is going on, what's built on Hedera, essentially, right? That's what is happening. The numbers don't lie, right? We're seeing what's going on. Karate Combat's essentially the staple example currently, but I do believe over this coming 3-6 months to a year, we're going to see a lot more start to get some of that mainstream adoption, and that's what it takes, to really, really break into that top 10. But there's again, we've been talking about, we do need support, public support, regardless of funding or any of that kind of stuff, just public support and empowerment ultimately from the higher ups at the governing councils, worlds, the foundation, etc. Right? For us here in as content creators, platforms, Dexes, DAOs, you name it. Right? Like until we see that shift, which is really going to be a paradigm shift. Right? Until we see that, again, we're going to continue to just keep talking about it. Right? Until it happens, until it becomes the norm. Because that's where we're going to really see, right? Hedera shouldn't really be, which the rest of the market fell as well, right? But Hedera arguably should be at 20 cents, 30 cents, whatever, right? Even with the current state of the market. But again, we need marketing, we need the exposure, we need the reach, we need to be in the conversations, right? So we're starting to. I do see a positive shift in that direction, but again, we need some more shifts fundamentally, So again, appreciate everyone tuning in here today. We're going to continue to jump through the Jumbotron here as well. And again, welcome to the Hbar Daily Show. If this is your first time here, maybe this is your first time here in Hedera, don't forget to set your reminders, mark your calendars, Monday through Friday at 5 p.m. EST, where you will be able to stay up to date with the latest Hbar related news and alpha. Give me 1 second because this dog here is going to try to eat my shoe. Give me 1 second. I'm going to move it. I'll be right back. Okay. Shoe is salvaged. We're good to go here. But again, I hope everyone's doing well, and I'm always looking forward to meeting new H-Barbarians and even old ones too, right? If you've been here, we haven't connected. If I haven't figured out a way to support you yet, right? Like that's the whole point of what we're doing here. That's why we do these shows, so that we can make sure that everyone has a voice, has an opportunity to talk about what's going on, right? Creators, builders, developers, degens, platforms, DAOs, right? You name it. That's the whole point of what we're doing here. So again, I know the market isn't super pretty. I know there's very few launches or there's very little to talk about currently, but I am very, very well aware of how fast this ecosystem moves. Not just Hedera, right? The whole Web3, what we consider Web3. I'm very much aware of how fast the candle can move, right? And sentiment shifts on a dime, right? Everyone right now is gloomy and upset, and some people are pissed, right? Other people, I mean, are pretty calm and composed and just kind of waiting it out, right? Like, would I have loved to have sold Hbar, all my Hbar at 20 cents and bought back? Like everyone, right? No one doesn't want to make money, right? But am I gonna just be like upset and leave the ecosystem and sell all my stuff now? Like, no, like I'm very much aware of the metrics. I know there's more and more developers here, more and more builders, creators, right? And if the sentiment is this bad and everything of the metrics that I'm looking for are positive and everything looks pretty solid on that front, I mean, I should be the most bullish I've ever been on this ecosystem, right? And on Web3 overall, right? Which I am. That's why we're continuing to push forward. That's why we're having these conversations, even on days like this, even on days like yesterday, right? Like we're not going anywhere. And the moment that things do pick up really, really powerfully, we're going to be ready. That's just what's going to happen. We see, right, who's here every single day. You guys can see one another. You could check who's listening to the recording or whatever, right? You can see who's liking, retweeting, whatever. You see who's here in the ecosystem. You see who's pushing. Yeah, I mean, it's going to really help you make some strong, solid judgment calls when the time comes, because there is going to be a point, arguably, when there are multiple launches a day again, whether they're tokens or NFTs or platforms or whatever, and you got to make your judgment calls, and if you're not working with people and have a lot of experience here and know maybe some potential ruggers from the past, right? They'll come back or whatever, right? Which will happen. We're already seeing it happen, right? That I mean, you just have to be able to protect yourself, and knowledge is gonna be is power at the end of the day, right? That phrase stands so true. And if you don't have the knowledge of what's going on in this ecosystem, you're gonna fall behind so fast because this space already moves so fast, even when it's slow. But when it's fast, I mean, it's unlike anything you've ever seen unless you've experienced it before, right? So yeah, that's my little monologue before we move on to the next point here. But yeah, I mean, if you're not bullish on what we're doing already, shoot me a DM if you want to get more involved. If you want to join our alpha chat as well, happy to let you know how to join us as well. More than happy to get more and more H barbarians involved as well. Jake, Tyson Jake, I saw you come up, brother. How you doing?
Good man, hope you are too. I'm just on a walk at the moment, so I thought I'd pop up and say hi to the community. Yeah, I'm doing well. Hope everyone is as well. Ibex post. Yeah, I'm doing good.
Awesome, brother. Yeah, I'm doing great. Just enjoyed my time last night and today as well. I mean, we're just chilling, just kind of looking at the charts, looking at what's going on in the ecosystem. What about you, brother? What have you been up to?
Yeah, it's Friday night here. I'm just sat on my laptop. I just thought I'd pop up for a bit because I'm a little bit tired. But myself and Lee, been working on a couple of things. We're about to get Babel live. The multilingual translation bot. We're about to get live with a payment system on it as well. That'll be recorded on HCS as well. Pretty excited about launching that and getting it in different communities, different chains as well. It's not about just having the tools in Hedera on just Hedera and projects on Hedera. It's about expanding out and getting them into Web 2 businesses, into Web 3 businesses, and that's what we're about, is trying to expand and show the use case of Hedera just by launching certain use cases in different areas of the world. I'm pretty excited about launching Babel. Expect a post soon on that. I'm not coming up to share. It's just to say to the community, we've got a couple of cool things that we're launching. July's going to be a big month for us. I'm really excited about that.
Awesome, brother. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing more of what you've done. I did, honestly, I did go and check out the Discord. I have messed with it, the AI bot so far. I gotta go check it out more and see. We did talk about you guys yesterday on our show, right? That video, excuse me, that video that you put out with the robots running, I think, right? And you said it was all AI powered. Or AI generated, I should say. That's just crazy,
Yeah, it's still early. You got to look at AI and think. Technology's expanded so much in the past year. Than the past 10, you kind of got to look at it as like in the last year, technology advances, it's advanced so much to the point where AI is going to be something that we need to leverage. As people, we kind of need to regulate it in a sense as well. Decentralized AI is a different story. Right now, we're not there yet where we can run AI models on Hedera. Hedera's capable of that. Like, there's other layer ones that are not capable of having that much compute running on that chain. Hedera is capable of that. It's just a certain architecture that you kind of have to focus on. But we're just building cool tools. Our goal is to build cool tools that businesses can leverage, projects can leverage, any human being can leverage and come in. With Hbar running on HCS, that's going to be the main goal. It's like we know not everyone's up for using AI tools on Discord, or editing images on Discord, or generating images on Discord. So you've got to look at the bigger picture of AI, I think. And part of the focus is, we want to build a web application where people can come to our website and have the most user-friendly place to, explore these different tools in one place. And I've got a lot of thoughts, I could spit out, but democratizing AI, I think, is the main thing. It's making AI accessible to everyone. no matter what background you come from, no matter what sector in business you come from or in the world you come from. It's kind of just like if you want to come in and edit an image, or if you want to come in and create a music video, or you want to create like anything for your business, so like create a promotion video, like we want to create this like cool environment for people to come in and just explore their ideas, basically. And I think AI is a big part of exploring ideas. We talk about if you want to take up the mic, man.
I didn't. I'm just agreeing with you. If you have more to share, you're always more than welcome to.
I do have a lot to share, because sometimes like it's hard as a team of three. I'm sorry about the car that's driving past me right now. I'm walking my dog. My little Frenchie Hugo. He's a good boy. I'll start posting him more maybe, and
do it.
Start, but it's about creating tools that everyone can leverage. That's part of what we're doing at Hyzen, is like everything we create, because we always have new ideas on how to make different tools accessible to certain businesses. Like for example, Babbel, a multilingual translation bot. It sounds like it sounds boring, you know what I mean? But it's something that's needed in the ecosystem. If you have a network where there's developers from Spain, or there's developers from England, or there's developers from the US, or all these different language backgrounds, like come in, you can talk to each other within a server, and you can actually network together and build something cool. And I think that's part of a network. Is what Hbar should be doing. My main focus at the moment is connecting with as many developers and as many people with marketing backgrounds and projects on here. Like all I've been doing right now is, and I'm sorry for not coming up in spaces, because this is networking too, right? This is networking with you guys. I've been focusing on trying to speak to everyone from every different project. Like for example, I booked a call with Jack from Kabila. I've been speaking to Cantor as well with Lee, and we're thinking of different ways we can improve Hbar standards and stuff like that. There's a lot of things that you have to consider when you're running a project, and everyone has their different ways of doing things, right? Everyone has their different ways and their different goals within the ecosystem. And I think our goal is like, whatever we build and whatever we do, and whatever thing can add to our business, we will include it in the Hyzen ecosystem. And Babbel, for example, is a multilingual translation tool. When people pay, a monthly fee in Hbars, or they pay a monthly fee in any HTS token, it'll come back right in and burn the token, and add to LP rewards, add to certain things. And Hbar, for example, like all the transactions are going to be recorded on Hbar. So it's not about when you prompt the AI like to have a transaction, and people can see what you've prompted, because that should be totally private, right? But it's about backing up a credit system on HTS, and HTS is immutable. HTS is like secure as hell. Like it's the best. Like HTS is the beauty of our ecosystem right now. It's a very underrated, it's a very underrated thing that people, I'm sure a lot of people in this room understand HTS, and HTS is the beauty of Hbar. I'm sorry, but HTS we should be really pushing the consensus service as one of the main things on Hbar.
Yep.
That is the beauty of Hbar. In my opinion, I'm not saying without HTS we couldn't launch token, but the consensus service is a beauty of a architecture. That's all I'm gonna say. But I could talk all day, man.
No, brother, I completely agree. And the next point I want to talk about, yesterday we kind of briefly covered, the Nationals integration on-chain data, right? So it's the second post up in the Jumbotron. If you guys are on the Spaces side of things, go ahead and just scroll to the right. One, I just said, right, bullish. I'm just going to click on it so I can kind of just read it with you guys. I just said, right, bullish on #Hbar founders that integrate on-chain data, right? AKA Nationals. I'm not saying anything about no founder that's not doing it, right? But I am saying, look, like I'm very bullish on the Hbar consensus service and the use cases that are on it, right? And the token service is something that is very novel, very unique, very important for Hbar. But the consensus service is where most of the transactions do happen, right? At the end of the day. And that's where the Nationals are living, right? And so a lot of the conversation that's happening between a bunch of devs in the ecosystem. So if you guys have not seen it yet, I mean, it's quite a bit. I haven't even actually read all of it yet, because I guess today there's been a lot more conversations had since going back and forth on it. And again, I mean, the discrepancy between a consensus node, a mirror node, and IPFS, right? Being similar, like a mirror node being similar to like a gateway, for instance, right? That's one of the examples that was used. But the data is still stored on Hedera, right? And so just a discrepancy of like, is it on chain? Is it not on chain? Should we not call it Fluidity, right? So go and do some research on it in that thread. A lot of developers are having a conversation about it. I know some of it is kind of over probably a lot of our heads. It's definitely over my head in some capacity. But I do understand it enough to say, oh, okay, you know what? If the consensus nodes are storing it, if the data stream storing it, right? If the mirror node's pulling the data, right? If hashional's on, right? If I start going really, really deep, right? The topic IDs, all the messages, all the data stored as byte, right? If I start talking about all that, but if it's being pulled by the mirror nodes, right? And anyone could pull up a mirror node if they want to and fund it. Okay, well, the data is there on Hedera historically, right? So I don't see the reason to semantically go off and say that it's not on chain. So again, with what Heisen just said, I think it is, let's just say, a disservice to Hedera in some capacity if we don't push use cases of the consensus service, which this would be one of them. DEXs, right, can use the consensus service. HV will be one of them, right, and so on, right. So anything that's related to the consensus service here in Hedera, we ought to be showcasing because that is the bread and butter, arguably, of what Hedera brings to the table. And developers can go and innovate and create on the consensus service, right? And we're starting to see that more and more as Hedera continues to grow, evolve, new developers come in, right? Jake, I'll kick it back to you, brother. I see your hands up.
Yeah, sorry, I was going to lose my train of thought if I didn't put my hand up. But yeah, as the marketing lead of Heisen and a co-founder, I'm not a dev like Lee. Lee would happily come up and talk about the consensus service and topic IDs and all them different things that like Hedera can bring and allow. By the end of the day, the retail side of the community, we look at Hedera and you see that post. We have the most developers on the network. Like everyone sees we have the most developers on the network, and I'm just gonna be straight up and honest. 99% of them are from Swells, which is fine. Like that's fine. It's totally fine to grow a network. That's what you kind of need. And Swells is funded by the government council, and that's easy to see. And the 1% of retail that are actually leveraging like some of these standards on the network. I think it's important to leverage these standards and show enterprise what we can do. Because we kind of work in tangent, right? You can look and people, as retail people, we all want to make, like, people want to make money. They want to like chase gains, they want to chase liquidity, etc. I think it's important to support the people who are trying to build cool standards and things like that. Like we jumped on a call with Kansas the other day, myself and Lee, and Kansas open to exploring HCS2, and we can build on certain standards, and people can put their own things on GitHub, for example, and just put their own standards on there and build upon each other. And I think that's important, just to have these proper network meetings, go out your way to actually speak to people and have these calls and things. And I think that's what I'm starting to see now is my mind's kind of opened up now to just in a sense, it's kind of just not bugging people, but like now I'm just like I'm constantly out there in the DMs, like let's get a call with me and Lee, let's get a call with me with Susie and Lee, and let's start building some things and showing that retail's power. Because there's some retail use cases on here, like we look at Avery Dimension, for example, that's running a lot of TPS as an enterprise. There's potential here to I'll not outdo them in a sense, but we could start running way more TPS as retail.
Yeah.
And that's when the enterprise will look and be like, oh shit, like excuse my French,
Yep.
Oh shit, like the retail are doing this and putting more transactions on the network. And that's a bigger picture, and I think as retail, we're trying to get to that point, and we do have our setbacks because market's down, sentiment's down, people are getting annoyed and things like that. But people are constantly building here. Just from my personal background is I don't usually come up and and speak my thoughts, because I struggle to do that, because I usually sit back and watch the sentiment, watch like how it's going, and read the tweets and all that type of stuff. But we kind of need to push the people who are building things, and then when we are building things that outdo like these enterprises, and we'll run more transactions than the foundation. And that's not me saying like I have no problem. Like I've never say anything against the foundation. Like we should be a community. Like we should support these things. Like when Hbar first started, like yes, they supported a foundation because they need to support a foundation. It's not up to Lehman and Mans to to fund every single project. Like it's not up to them. So yeah, they'll give it to a foundation, and yeah, like that's something you need to do as a network when you first start, especially Hbar as a layer one that's come out of like nowhere back in that's like
2017. Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm sorry for speaking so quick. So from where I'm from, back in Merseyside, we talk at 100 mile an hour, man. But yeah, like my thoughts are always at 100 mile an hour, and I like connecting with people. I think that's what we kind of need. I hope you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. The overall vision of this network ultimately will be showcased and highlighted by us at retail, unless the governing council, unless the enterprise is right, unless they're like, hey, another BlackRock news, move us up another 100%. Oh, the next day another 100. Like that could happen, right? Like I don't want to count that out. The retail marketing can do so much, and it's like without being empowered, right, or having ultimate like open public support, right, which we don't have. Like we just full honestly, right, we don't have that right now, right? We don't have. Here's something I would like to see, right, and that's just me putting all my putting my cards out, right? Like we're coming up on almost a year, right? Monday through Friday, the main Hbar account, the main Hbar Foundation account, Shane, Charles, Christian Hasker has come, but he no longer works there, so I'm not going to count it. I mean, Lehman Mance, but I mean, they're doing something kind of different, so I'm not going to really expect them to be jumping in. But basically, people that are like at Worlds, right? We have had Patches, right? And a lot of the devs, right, on the retail side, but I even still consider Patches more retail, right? I mean, he's been here this whole time. He does work at Swirls now, right? But we just don't have, whether it's our show or other shows, right? It's not even just our show, but if we had more of that, right? I think we'll see quite a bit of change, and a lot more people would be more encouraged to work in this ecosystem for the ecosystem, right? Not regardless of talking about funding, right? Just seeing like, oh, okay, like we are supported in some capacity. So like, yeah, if we do get to a year in September, and we haven't had a single one of those, regardless if I got to go network more, go do whatever, like if they are aware that we have multiple shows here that have been going on for 6 months to a year or longer. Some might be longer than that, right? And you don't hear support publicly for in any capacity, right? Okay, well that's got to change, right? Like it just needs to change. We need to see it, right? We're trying to cover all the news and alpha going on retail. Sure, I could focus more on the enterprise, which we do touch on enterprise stuff too here. But of course, we want to make sure that every single developer, platform builder, creator, you name it, DAO as well, is covered, which we do Monday through Friday, right? 5 p.m. EST. So again, we're going to continue to do it. I see a ton of value in it. And of course, once the ecosystem continues to grow even more, price action looks more favorable. I mean, we're going to get back to hundreds, if not thousands of people every single day listening in, tuning in, right? Just the price action is ultimately what dictates. And I watch it, right? I see who's here. I see who shows up right before their launches and are not speaking anymore, right? Like, and if you guys watch it, like, again, I said this yesterday, like, stay true to yourself. Like, not everyone coming up and speaking in spaces, like, you're gonna see who's doing what, right? When the everything starts getting really hectic and busy, you're gonna see who jumps up in spaces for like a month or two. They launch their thing and then they're gone. I can name tons of people that do that all the time. I mean, it's neither here nor there. I'm not gonna focus on that too much, but if you're supporting people, right, you're talking with them, you're having conversations. In terms of your excuse me, in terms of your investments, like really taking seriously and trying to understand who is here in the ecosystem and who's building what, who's doing what in the ecosystem, is going to save you quite a bit of time, save you quite a bit of money. The longer I've been here, I've been here for about 4 years, coming up on 4 years now. And yeah, I mean, I see founders, platforms, dexes, whatever, come and go all the time. Through the time I've been here in Hbar, in Web3, I've been in other chains as well. Yeah, I mean, this next wave though, whatever it's about to happen, I know we're not screen sharing today, but on Monday, I'm going to show you guys a graphic, and we'll see what price action happens this weekend, right? Maybe we'll see more downside. I have been calling, right, and I was calling for many months now, right? 55K, 56K in that range, which is basically where we are. We touched down to that lower level, that lower range since February. I talked about it. I called it, and I said, look, like that'll most likely be the bottom of this cycle, and the way that the market will recover is so extreme, and people are going to be like, oh, I can't believe we were so low at that point, and it was only a couple months ago or a month ago or whatever, right? So don't get shaken out. I did go and do the math after the space, so if you guys are in our alpha chat, once again, I did run the numbers by you all. So from the 74,000 range as the recent like double or triple top, so this is what happened if we did hit a 30% pullback, which is really normal. Super healthy consolidation for a bull run. And it happens every bull run. 30% correction, it's always 30 or 40%. 30% from 74,000, guess what? 55K. And then 40% correction was like 42 or 43, which is, like I said, if we break 55K, the next logical level, which I didn't actually know the exact numbers. I just went and typed it in. And I was showing you guys the logical base, literally the two numbers I've been talking about for months now, 42 and basically 55K. So again, if we break 55K and close candles below it, prepare for 40 something. Obviously, all the alts, all your tokens, right? They're all going to get absolutely wrecked. But guess what? The moment that this cycle comes to fruition, we actually see a full run, which again, if you're in the alpha chat, actually, you know what? I can just pull it up. Give me 1 second. If you're on the space, if you're on the broadcast, you won't be able to see it today. But again, you're going to be able to pull it up. Give me 1 second here. If you're on the broadcast, go ahead. If you're on X as well, just type in tech dev _52, and you're going to be able to see this graphic. So if you're on the spaces once again as well, I'm about to throw it up there so you guys can actually see my thesis, and it's great. I mean, this chart looks amazing. It's pretty spot on as to what I believe. But before we cover that and wrap up the space in the next 5 minutes or so, Jake, I'll kick it back to you, brother. I see your hands up.
I was going to say, grab free IPEX more, free IX mortals. You're going to get in the alpha chat.
Yeah, brother. Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Yes. Yeah, I haven't talked about them too much, but again, if anyone's seriously interested in joining our alpha chat, again, once things really start to kick off, any new tokens, any new launches, even launches right now, I'm more than happy to coordinate with all the new founders launches, right? Get you guys whitelist spots, right? I'm going to do all that for the alpha chat members as well. But any calls, right? All these calls that I've been talking about here in the spaces, our alpha chat's basically these spaces condensed in a chat, right? So anytime I have a call, I do share it in there as well. I've had that chat for about, oh man, almost the time that actually before we started doing these spaces consistently. So we've been rocking for a bit there. And again, of course, if any of you guys are interested, it's not that much to enter. You do need 3 NFTs, but they're all relatively cheap right now, probably around like 150 to 200 Hbar or so. So yeah, if you guys are interested, more than happy to start networking with you guys, bring you in. We have about, I think about 70, 80 members currently in it. So again, massive shout out to all of you guys in the Hbar community alpha chat there. Massive shout out to all of you. All right, Jake and everyone listening. And if anyone's not in it yet, and if you're in the chat listening here on Spaces or on the broadcast, again, do reach out and DM if you purchase them. Let me know if you have any trouble finding the collection. It's in my link tree, by the way. If you guys have any questions, just hit my link tree. It'll be super easy on X to find it. All right, Jake, I appreciate the shout out, brother. All right, for those of you guys on the spaces, you're going to be able to see up in the Jumbotron what the chart looks like. So for me, I believe we are in that phase right there where it's called the bear trap, right? It's a correction led by overvaluation concerns and premature fears that the cycle has ended. So I think we're coming up on it. I don't think we're in it fully yet. But I do think it's very, very soon, very, very close. All the indicators that I'm watching, everything is pretty much at its lowest points that it can go, or very near it. So again, I mean, there's only so much low, and Bitcoin's still in the 50K range, So it's like where we are headed is so much higher than where we are now. And it's like, we literally just have to be patient. Do not get shaken out. Everyone that's listening now, you're going to be like, oh, okay. Even if it does take another year, right? Looking at this chart again, right? Early 2025 to mid 2025 going into the summer, that's essentially the top and the double top, right? Which is what I was saying, right? The end of this year is going to be the rally, Q3, Q4, going into 2025, right? I have been saying that. I said at some point it's going to kind of fizzle out in 2025. No one knows 100% sure any of this stuff, right? But I did say Q3, Q4 will be when the rally does happen finally. And we will get into that euphoric state, which again, people are going to be saying it's different this time, right? Bitcoin's already above whatever, 80,000, 90,000, 100K, whatever it's going to be, right? Top. Everyone's long except for me, right? So everyone's going to be just trying to buy across, right? Eventually the next bull trap will happen and people are going to be saying buy the dip, right? So go check that chart, screenshot it, save it, do whatever you got to do, share with your friends, your family, whatever. That's pretty much what I've been tracking, and I've seen various charts similar to it, but that's pretty much what I've been banking on this whole time, just looking at it. It's pretty accurate. So again, go check it out. And yeah, I mean, if this is anywhere near accurate, we're going to see some pretty incredible things. Again, we've been calling it since come Q3 and Q4. All right, Jake, well, we're going to end the show here. If you want to say any final words before we wrap up, I will kick it to you, brother.
I kind of don't know what to say, like, give us a second because I have to think about it. Yeah, as an ecosystem, I think, as a retail side, we kind of, we really need to drive each other together.
Yeah.
From my perspective, and from our team's perspective, which is just me, Lee, and Batuzi, Batuzi doing a lot of different things on Hashtails, right? And Lee's doing a lot of back end stuff. I'm always here listening to every single space I can as possible, like as much as possible.
Yeah.
And as a retail side, we need to support each other, I think. Support the things we're trying to build. Because it's rare in a layer one we have something like this. I always started out in Hbar. I've always been here for like 3 or 4 years, like you, Ifex did. You've been 4 years. I've been. Yeah, the amount you learn from being on this ecosystem, and just the people you meet as well, it's a part of your life in the end. It becomes a real part of your life. We need to support each other. We need to support what we're building. We need to push the retail side. We need to not think about the negative things that you have this sometimes you have this negative thing going on, and I just need to support everyone who's building changes on the network, trying to push the retail and trying to push the Hbar as that the period layer one, and I think we'll get there. And the market of course has an effect on everyone. As a retail investor, of course it does. You've got to think about the bigger picture and trying to bring people into this network, and onboarding is the big thing. Yeah, I just say, before we end the space, is we're all here for a reason. We all support this network. We all believe in this network because we've had good experiences on it, and we've had bad experiences, and that's just like normal life. You look to your life. We've all had bad experiences in real life, and we've all had good experiences. But we're here for a reason, right? We turn up every day. This is episode 217. That's not including weekends. That's almost a year, bro, of you putting in everyday spaces because you believe in this network, right? And that's all I'll say is let's support people who are building cool standards and things to push this network on the retail side. And once the retail side start building stuff and putting transactions on the network that outrun these enterprises, because we've got a small amount of enterprises right now running TPS on chain. We've got every dimension and Atma running transactions on chain, but we can as soon as we flip that, like Hashtails, for example, Hashtails puts a lot of transactions on chain.
Yeah.
As soon as we flip that, as soon as we start building protocols and building businesses and brands and pushing this network together, as soon as you start flipping these things, this is when the enterprises will look and be like, wow, you know what I mean, and be like, oh shit, what are we missing? That's all I'll say. Is as family, who's been here for 4 years, I love everyone in the space. I've got no hard feelings against anyone. I'll never, say anything against Hbar. I'll just always sit back and, watch the sentiment and things like that. But I'll come up when I need to come up. And thanks for having me on.
Awesome, brother. Yeah.
On a dog walk.
No, you're great, brother. Awesome. Well, I appreciate you coming up here today. Appreciate everyone tuning in live to the Hbar Daily Show here on this amazing Friday. I hope you guys are all doing well. Reach out if you guys need anything. Reach out if you want to join our alpha chat. With that being said, this has been the Hbar Daily Show, and I will catch you all this coming Monday for our Monday edition. Again, Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. EST, the place to be in Web3. Much love, you guys. Have a great weekend. I'll catch you all on Monday.